Hey guys and welcome. This is totally going to be the day. I'm ready for my dinner. I'm going to finish this, no matter how much time it will take. So, last thing we need to do are the boots, the shoes, and we have to do them, and then modeling will be done completely. And at the moment, I would not know of any object that we forgot except the gun, which is not necessarily part of, you know, our character modeling, but could be added for various kind of things that you want to use the character with. Yeah, let's dive right into it. We want to create shoes, and I really dislike modeling shoes. I once spent 2 hours on, no more, it must have been 3 hours just on modeling shoes. A single shoe, a simple shoe. That was just way too much work for just a shoe, and I wanted to make a character, and that took so long already that I lost the motivation in the end. Well, I have now a nice shoe, so maybe it wasn't that bad after all. But of course, not very often you find yourself really being able to reuse what you've created. Now, I'm not entirely sure how I want to approach it at the moment, so I am just following now the shapes of the foot, since we kind of will need that most probably. Also, we need more or less the same thing on top, because this shoe is very, what do you say, angular. It has lots of, looks like a box. So let's create a box in a similar shape. And actually, let's delete the lower one. I mean, it's going to be replaced by this box. So I'm scaling it along a bit along Z, and this one then will be scaled to be flat. And over here we need to move it a bit more to the side to include the entire half foot into this. Make sure that the toes are really in the front and everything else is alright. At that point I'm noticing that it's kind of difficult with clothes, because or with drawings, and a real foot deforms totally in a shoe. I mean, a shoe is pretty small and your foot kind of stays in there pretty well, so it needs to be tight normally, and so would normally have the entire thing actually intersecting with the foot, but instead of intersecting in reality it would just squish the foot a bit together. But we kind of don't, or I kind of don't want to do that, because we modeled the foot already so nice and I don't want to lose it. So I'm trying to avoid that and just continue ignoring the fact, but who knows what we'll end up doing later on. So the topology is rather simple. We're lucky about that. We can add a mirror modifier, by the way, to get an idea of the size, and I think the size is pretty good at the moment, but we don't want to get any bigger in my opinion. Hopefully we won't have to. So over here you have the chance to add a couple of wrinkles and folds and everything that should be here, as it is in the reference as well. And just consider these lines as if they had these double lines in there. We're going to cover them later. Now this piece of cloth is definitely in the way. We do need to change something after all. But well, it was very close at the beginning as well. It doesn't really surprise me, to be honest. So I'm moving it away with proportion editing. Make sure to do that in multiple steps so that you don't deform something too much. from just a single point. So without the boot it looks like that now. So I guess you'd have to fix it depending on whether you have them on or not, because it doesn't really work for both. Here's our basic shape. I think we captured the foot pretty well. Now let's take a look at this part in the bottom. So what I want to do is make this a little bit downwards going, and then I'm going to extrude this about this much, and I will probably just delete this face and these two faces as well. And then we can fill it back up, but this time I wonder what it is like, the shoe. You can't see it so well, but normally shoes are like this. So, oh, by the way, what's that? That is not good. So let's just fill it and see. So not really like that, but it could be like that, but it could also have something like this here. But if it had that shape, we would model it a bit differently. I'm just checking it which version looks better. But actually, I like this version more. So let's stick with it. And it's actually easier to model, so that's a good point as well. So add a subsurface modifier, since we always need that in this project at least. And I'm going to add more wrinkles. Now this is still a bit troublesome, since we haven't really looked at that part yet. So we're going to have intersections again, as it seems I have to move the entire part to the front a bit more. Great. This is kind of difficult, because you don't want to go too far with it, but you also do not want to, change too much about what you've created already. Just find out what is the best solution in between. Yeah, kind of happy with that. This time we can work with it. Now we have to sharpen all the edges in our shoe, and yeah, just finalize things. So to sharpen it, I'm just going to add a couple of more edges all over the place, and you will see how quick these look again like just a big box. Now the front, however, well, it is actually still a lot like it, but it should be a bit more rounded. So I'm giving it here the opportunity to make a curve easier, something like that. And also keep in mind that the part below is kind of separate, something different. We will just add a loop here so that we can then separate them better. And I guess one over here as well, just because we want this to be sharp. But since we don't want the area on top to be sharp, I'm going to move it to here. And that gives us the chance to adjust a little bit the shape once again, and we're definitely going to use that opportunity. So over here we can crease those simply by moving it from down here, which is a better idea because by doing that you don't have to interfere with the other geometries. And to get this crease into here, you just use shrink and fatten. That should give you a good result. Just going ahead and creasing them a bit more again. Also over here. Then here it is. Wow, we didn't do anything about the back, as it seems. So I'm selecting this part and I want to move it a bit to the back. Be careful here. It's about to intersect, and here it does already. So I'll leave it like that and move these instead inwards to make it really round. Now over here we again have trouble with the foot itself this time. That's why this is as far as I will go. So we need another loop here to get our creases correct, and another one for down here. Over here we'll do the same thing with our crease. Just without proportional editing turned on. And if you want it to be sharper, simply move the loops closer together. Awesome. So we need a couple of more things. So here's this band that holds everything together. I will just select here a loop and move it a bit upwards. I will stay in the same object though, since I don't see much of a reason to leave. And I'll extrude it upwards and correct the normals since they're wrong. Sorry for that. And set it to smooth, of course. I really hope we don't have to go thicker again with the clothes. I'm trying to scale it a little bit down here, but at the same time we cannot do it too much because, well, the shoe isn't that thin after all. Maybe we can just go with this entire area a bit backwards, then it might not look that bad. And now let's give this part that we just created some thickness. Well, first of all, let's make it straight. It's still kind of bent and shifted. Now I extrude it and right-click to leave it where it is, and then I use shrink and fatten to give it a volume. Just be careful not to overdo it. And then I'm going to sharpen the edges, as I always do, and that looks pretty good. Well, I should have done that before, but I'm now going to crease this one edge that kind of looks as if it is still not enough. And fixing a few issues that I find on the while I'm working on it. Alright, and if some things go out of control as they did here just now, just smooth everything once and your problems are almost guaranteed to be fixed. Now for this big edge around here, I want to actually create a new object. It is going to be, I'm just going to start by copying these polygons. And then we'll try something, and if we're lucky, we'll get away with very little amount of work. If not, we'll have to do some, but it's not a problem. Should be fun to do. So these are all the edges that I want. I'm going to copy them into a new object, then select this and try to use the, which one was it? Maybe the wireframe? Well, before you subsurface it. Where is it gone to? Something is not working as it should. Alright, let's try out this one. Okay, well, I don't know about these too much. I was hoping to easily get a shape out of it, but seems like this won't happen. So let's do it by hand. I'm just going to extrude all of it, first of all, and how do we do it most efficiently? Let's start by moving it downwards. Once I moved it downwards, I'm going to deselect the areas that have found their right place. These ones seem to me to be good as well, so I'm deselecting them. But over here we have definitely some problems. Well, these ones are a special situation, so I leave them for later. But over here, so I deselect them. But over here we need to move them a bit to the back instead. Yeah, kind of like that. And for this one here, we have to twist these so that they show towards the front, not to the side anymore. Same thing over here. To connect them, let's delete this edge from here to here. Actually, just the entire face, and reconnect them, maybe like that. No, probably not. Instead, I'm going to split this up and connect them to here. And seems like the triangle is the only way to... No, I can't accept that. So what I'm going to do is leave it as it is, but instead just extrude this in here and just leave it unconnected, close to each other. Now here we want to do the same thing. I'm going to delete that face and extrude it downwards to the same position. Similar way, and also do a second extrusion just so that it really ends there and Subsurface doesn't kick in and destroys your work. So again, same thing, move it down, once again, and one last time over here. So again, delete the face and extrude it. I wonder if you can hear that music. Someone with a car outside is kind of in a good mood. Anyways, one last extrusion. So we have everything. Let's recalculate normals. And now it looks much better. And now try to use the Subsurface Modifier and then copy the Subsurface Modifier and place it after this solid fee. So we have mirror, subsurf, solid fee, and subsurf. And now we have just of course to adjust these, and then we might have a beautiful shoe. We'll see how it will turn out. But the challenge here is kind of to get all of these even, and that's not as easy as it sounds. Also, they are kind of thin, and I don't like that. Let's try to... Well, let's leave for now the Subsurface Modifier away. Yeah, I'm going to make it thicker and set everything to smooth. Yeah, that's better. And then you might have to really adjust these and move them out again and fix all kinds of things. The thickness is good now. I'm happy with that part of it at least. And then also be sure to think about the order of these, and in the reference on top it is below, and here on the bottom it's kind of joins together, but I'm going to make it pass above. So here we don't need these loops close together actually, so you might be able to merge them if it doesn't reduces too much detail for you to keep it on the surface. So I won't delete this one, but instead use it here to fit it better onto the shoe. Well, I wanted to avoid the sharp corner, but it has to be. Delete this loop. And again, same thing as on the other side, kind of trying to avoid too many vertices. And then last part here. So need to change that since solid we kind of worked into the wrong direction. And then just make sure that it is below this part. You can fix that from both sides, either lowering that or raising that one. And last thing is this yellow part. Then we have shoes. Let me quickly color them. I mean, of course, not color really, but just apply materials to it. So just so we get an idea of how it looks overall, kind of want to make this a bit more gray. So I can live with it. It's alright. However, I still prefer the version without shoes, to be honest. Great. So let's create that last part that we're still missing. Shouldn't be too hard. Now select this new part that we extruded. We won't need most of these vertices. I'm just going to stick with 2. Actually put it here and make some extrusions. Kind of try to shape this. Now this is going to be hard. I mean, doing it like this. What I will do instead is move it here, try to get it kind of straight, and then select these, scale them to 0 along x, these by 0 along x as well, then these 2 along y. Now you have a plane again, and in that state it should be even more easy to create the shape that we're looking for, and after that we'll just rotate it in place and everything will be good. So add a couple of loops to here and there. We can probably do it like this, and that might be easier and better for our topology. Awesome. I'm going to move these ones a bit to here though, so that it's evenly sharp to both directions. Oh, there is something wrong. And then I will change the material to the yellow one. Now select the entire thing and try to move it into place. And then guess what? We'll need a subdivision surface modifier from the modifier list. Did I say subdivision surface? I mean solid view, of course. I'm going to set this to 0 and just get a proper thickness. Maybe change the order of the modifiers. And there we are. Yay! We made it. We created an entire character starting from the very beginning, and it took just around 12 hours. Well, isn't that nice? I'm looking forward to see how much it really is. The last time I looked at the time of all the videos together, it was a bit over 10 hours. So it might be already over 12 hours of video at this point. So there we are. We have an entire character. If you want to take a look at it without any materials, you can make use of the matte caps if you like them, and you can check if everything looks good. I have nothing to say about it. I'm pretty satisfied with the result. At least for now. Hopefully I can also improve over time and get better, and then look back to it and hopefully be able to say this looks pretty bad, so that I can be much better. Yeah, I don't know what to say. It's over. That's it. I'm not sure at the moment how I'm going to continue. I mean, lots of people have asked for texturing, and I do want to texture it as well, but I also want to do rigging still, and I also want to do animation still, and I also want to do a 3D print setup. So I have lots of thoughts to put into that. I'm leaving it here as it is. I hope you enjoyed everything, all this time, and all the work that I have put into this over the past week. And hopefully you'll stay on this channel and view my future videos. Thanks for watching, and have a great day and time and everything else.